Hi guys, I hope you're all well. It's currently Sunday the 10th of October 2021 and welcome to week 300 of my weight loss journey. In last week's video we all saw I got a deserving gain of 3.5 pounds, which is 1.6 kilogram, which meant my body mass index went from 48.3 up to 48.8. Just like I always do, I'm going to start the proceedings off by reviewing my calorie consumption for the past week, which we can see in the graph above. The average of this was 2,416 compared to the previous week at 2,681. I have managed to bring it back down within my 2,500 calorie allowance average for the week, which is great. That's ultimately what I like to see on this stat. My fluid consumption, though, unfortunately has taken a bit of a nosedive to 3,264 millilitres as an average overall for the week, which is below my target of 3,500 millilitres. I've just not been fitting in as much drinking this week, cordials or sparkling water, so that's the reason for the decline in that one. Now, my activity levels for the past week in the form of my step count can be seen in the graph above. The average of this was 12,909 compared to the previous week at 11,807. Slight increase in steps this past week, which is great. It's above target of 10,000 steps. I continue to do my HIIT activity, high intensity interval training. Did that on Monday, Tuesday and Thursday. Reasons for not doing it on Wednesday or Friday, it was down to my hip. It just acting up, a bit of a twinge. So obviously I did that once I got back from doing my evening walks. That's been that. As we all know, every 5 weeks I've been monitoring my body measurements to see if I've made any progress in that area as well. So without further ado, here are my latest results. Out of the 14 body measurements which I monitor, unfortunately I've not seen any losses or reductions across any of those. So therefore, in the 300 weeks that I've been doing this weight loss journey, the amount of reductions that I've seen has to stay at 125.7 inches, which is 319.3 centimeters. So that is my combined inches, centimeters lost so far on my journey over the last 300 weeks. It's that time of the week where we all get to see if I've managed to lose any more weight. So here it is, guys. Here's my weigh-in. I weigh 165.6 kilograms, which is 365 pounds, or 26 stone 1 pound. This means in the past week I've seen a loss of 3 pounds, or 1.3 kilogram. Now if I compare this result to the result I obtained at Slimming World, you can see this right here. At Slimming World this week, I also saw a loss of 3 pounds, or 1.3 kilogram. So there we go. I'm happy to see a loss result, but as we all know in last week's video, I was aiming for a 5 to 10 pound weight loss this week, but unfortunately that just didn't materialize. Now for the past 5 weeks, I've been doing extra activity as well as doing my best, apart from 1 week, to stick within 2,500 calories as an average for the week and ultimately every day of the week, because normally I go overboard on a Saturday and Sunday. For the most part, apart from that 1 week, which was on week 4, I stuck to things, including doing all of my additional activities. Unfortunately, the net result of this is that I've seen a rather large gain overall. I think I'm still like 9.5 pounds heavier than when I first started this 5 weeks ago, even though I've done everything right apart from that 1 week. I know it's that 1 week where I gained that 3.5 pounds, but my first week, perfect week, and I saw that 10 pound gain. I don't know, but yes, so overall it's a bit disappointing these last 5 weeks. I was really hoping to, get some decent results on the run up to my milestone week 300 of my weight loss journey, but as I've said, it's just not materialized. But nevertheless, it's not put me off. Obviously, I've still got plenty of work to do, and there's still plenty of time left in order for me to achieve my goals. Based on this week's weight loss, it sees my body mass index go from 48.8 down to 48.4. And if we look at my third weight loss target, last week it was 47.4% complete. And after the loss, it goes up to 51.7% complete. So in the 300 weeks that I've been doing this weight loss journey, I've lost a total of 176.2 pounds, which is 79.9 kilograms, or 12 stone, 8.2 pounds. Now, a few weeks ago, in week 298 of my weight loss journey, I asked everybody if they wanted to leave me a question which they felt I've not answered or been quite vague in answering so far along my weight loss journey. Now, I said I would answer that question in week 300. And of course, it's week 300, so I'm going to answer those questions that people have left me. And here's question 1. The first question is from Claudia from channel Claudia San Diego. And that question being, when are you getting new shorts? Which is funny, straight to the point, made me chuckle. I know Claudia, for a number of weeks now, months in fact, has been making a comment in my messages, in the videos, about my shorts that I'm wearing when I'm actually stepping onto the weighing scales. Obviously they're a bit looser, a bit baggy. I need to get some new shorts. Well, to answer that question, I've got these new shorts. They're right here. I've had them for months and months. And as we all know, my weight loss journey for those months and months has been kind of stagnant. It's been up and down, and my body measurements haven't moved at all for a long time, especially around my hips and waist. Now, I can fit into those shorts that I've just shown you. However, they are so tight, and any movement would probably just rip them to hell. So I really need to lose 2 or 3 inches from my hip and waist area before those shorts are actually wearable. So it's basically, they're on the side. It's like a little goal of mine that I've been trying to achieve for months, just not being able to do it. So I have those shorts. So until I've lose those inches, unfortunately, those shorts that I'm wearing when I'm getting onto the weighing scales, well, you're going to see me wearing them at least until I've lost those 2 or 3 inches, and then I'll be able to fit into those new shorts that I've got beside me. The next question comes from David from channel David Jackson, and his question reads, what changes have you noticed in yourself as a result of your weight loss journey? Well, the thing what stands out the most is being able to do more in terms of activity. I'm not breathing heavily, even just from doing a standing meeting at work. So a 20-minute standing meeting at work, when I first started my weight loss journey, was like a massive workout for me. I could feel the sweat just rolling down my back, and I always had like dark patches under my eyes, and my skin was always extremely pale, quite grey, struggling getting the oxygen in. And yes, everything was a hard workout when you're that size. Just doing a general walk and walking upstairs was a challenge. And by the time I got to the top of the stairs, I was breathing so heavily, and a number of my friends and colleagues were generally concerned about me due to me gasping for air, so to speak, just after walking 1 flight of stairs. So now I'm able to walk upstairs no problem, and as we all know, I've been slowly increasing the amount of walking that I've been doing across my weight loss journey. So this is a big thing for me in terms of fitting in those extra steps, and now I can do 10 to 20,000 steps no problem. I'm not out of breath, which is great, and I'm hardly sweating. The only times I'm sweating now is if it's a hot, humid day whilst I'm doing a walk. So that's a massive change that I've noticed. Food wise as well, I'm also not eating as much bad foods. I've still got my treat day. We all know Saturday and sometimes Sunday rolls over into both days. I tend to go a little bit overboard on occasions, but overall, in terms of eating junk food, that has massively reduced. Well, pretty much it's inexistent now. Like I say, Saturday and Sunday tend to be the days where I go overboard. But when the food that I'm eating, it's not as bad as it used to be. I used to go to some well-known fast food chain restaurants and order quite a few burgers, and that would be my snack on the way home from work before getting home and also having my evening meal. So I was eating thousands upon thousands of calories every day in excess, and no wonder why. That's another reason why I was the size that I was, or the size that I got to. So as well as seeing improvements in my activity and the food choices that I'm making, another big one for me is socializing. Now, when I was at my biggest, I'm going to be honest, I was somewhat of a recluse. I didn't tend to venture out. I kept to myself, and yeah, it was just me alone in the house. I wouldn't venture out. Even if I got asked, would you like to go out with friends? I'd find an excuse not to go. Now that I've lost the weight, obviously my confidence is better, and I'm happy to go out to socialise, go out for a meal, go out with friends, etc. So that is a big change for me as well. So I am actually now starting to venture out and do more things what normal people do in their day-to-day lives. So yeah, social life has gotten better. Still working on it though. Still need to do more on that area, I think. But yeah, massive improvement there. The next question is from Leslie from channel Colours of Avon, and her question reads, have you considered reducing carbohydrates / sugars and increasing protein? To be honest, the answer is no. As we all know, for the past number of years, I'm part of the Slimming World group, and therefore the plan which we all follow has been part of that group. Now, I like the plan. It's easy to follow, and it doesn't restrict on food choices. It covers basically 3 foods, which majority of which are vegetables, including proteins, whether less than 5% fat, such as beef, steak, lamb, pork, chicken, turkey, and fish. Of course, eggs fall into that. I'm going into like dairy, cheese, class under A choices, and you got your fibre as well. So bran flakes, Weetabix, bread, crisp breads. So there's a wide variety, and of course you've also got sins. So there's, for me being a big chap, I'm allowed 35 sins a day, and sins can be broken down into certain values depending on what you have. So a packet of crisps or potato chips, for me, like a 25-gram bag, can be up to 5 sins for that bag of crisps. A chocolate bar, for instance, can be 5 to 7 sins, or even more, depending on how big the chocolate bar is. A cake, etc. So everything what you would consider to be a nice treat can be sinned. If you have more of your A choices, which is calcium-based stuff, so milk, cheese, etc. I really do like cheese. I'm a big cheeseaholic. So I get to have some cheese completely free, as in no sin value whatsoever, as part of my daily allowance under the plan. But if I have more cheese than what I should do, therefore I've got to then sin that food as well. So there's a value to that. So I'm eating carbohydrates, there's sugars, natural sugars in the food that I'm having, and there's also plenty of protein in the foods that I'm having under the plan as well. So in terms of cutting down carbohydrates, yeah, okay, every now and again I do reduce my carbohydrates. I don't have to. If you want to help start your weight loss, there is like an additional attachment to that, and that's called the SP plan, and that typically looks at reducing or eliminating nearly all of your carbohydrates from your meal choices throughout the week. So you're not going to be allowed pasta, rice, potatoes, bread, that type of stuff. That's all got to be removed from your diet. And there's a set list of things which you can eat and consume under the SP plan. And that's considered the more extreme version of Slimming World. And you're not supposed to be on that forever. It's just basically a couple of weeks thing to help boost your weight loss again, and then you go back onto the general plan, which is by far no means restrictive. You can eat what you want, and it falls into those 3 principles which I've already explained. So no, I wouldn't want to always be eating reduced carbohydrates and sugars, and I think I do eat enough protein I think it's a very more balanced diet that I'm eating now compared to when I first started my weight loss journey 5.5 years ago. The next question is from Chris from channel Zatio Chichi. I'm sorry, Chris, if I've not pronounced your channel name correctly. Probably haven't actually pronounced it correctly, but nevertheless, Chris's question is, how has your self-esteem / life changed since losing a great deal of weight? Now, I think there's a bit of overlap here on this question compared to the question David Jackson left me, so I think I've already answered part of this question. But regards to self-esteem, I'm certainly a lot more confident in myself. So compared to when I first started my weight loss journey, I'd say my self-esteem was pretty low, scraping along the floor there. Now, as I've lost a decent chunk of weight, by far nowhere near finished my weight loss journey yet, but as I've continued to lose that weight, I've certainly felt a lot better in myself as a person, and yes, I'm interacting more with people and enjoying life a bit more. So yeah, I think my self-esteem is way higher compared to where it was before. And with regards to how my life has changed, obviously simple things such as walking upstairs, going out for walks, a lot easier, not breathing as heavily as I used to do. And also, yes, when going on holiday, doing more trips abroad, being a bit more adventurous, and general day-to-day things, I'm not getting those I'm not getting as many awkward or disgusted looks from the general public when I'm out doing my walks, or especially young kids, they say, "Oh, mummy, daddy, look at that big fat man," so not getting as much as that, or general insults from the general public. So the number of insults or fat shaming is considerably reduced now. That's that. Now, the next 3 questions are from Susie from channel Susie Coffran. Now, I did say 3 questions, and I did say to Susie, if I don't get 10 questions, a question from at least 10 people, I will answer all 3 of her questions. Otherwise, I would like to choose at least once that she felt would be more important to her to answer. But since I haven't received 10 questions in total from 10 different people, therefore I'm going to answer all 3 of your questions, Susie. Your first question being, what are your plans to get through the holidays? Well, for the past couple of years, I've not been very good at really planning my Christmas and New Year's holiday, and I've kind of gone a bit overboard. This year, however, because I don't want to be in the position to spend months and months of the new year trying to undo the damage I've done, I'm only going to give myself the time off of Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Those are the only 4 days which I'm going to allow myself to eat a bit more than what I should do. So there's going to be a lot more treats involved on those days, but it's going to be a lot more controlled compared to where before, the week or 2 on the run up to Christmas, I'll let more things fall into my daily diet, which I'm not going to allow this year. And as a result, normally I'm usually 10 to 20 pounds heavier after the holidays. This year, I'm only wanting to be 3 or 4 pounds heavier after that time frame. So that's what I'm hoping for, and that's what I'm planning on doing at least. So 4 days instead of weeks of being bad. On the run up to the holidays though, I have decided to join the challenge that Craig at Grey Wolf Fitness channel has set, where he wants to lose 30 pounds in weight before Christmas. Now, I would like to lose 30 pounds of weight as well, ideally before Christmas. So I've decided to join Craig's challenge and do my utmost to fulfill that 30 pounds reduction on my weight. And that would be a nice little bonus that would be my own little Christmas present to myself. And then I would have those 4 days just to have a bit of extra treats, but again, trying to keep within 3 or 4 pounds in weight gain. And then for the start of the new year, I'll be in a fantastic position to continue on with my weight loss journey. So I hope I've answered your question there, Susie. Anyway, to the best of my ability anyway. Your next question is, are you dating? The honest answer to that question is no. I've actively been trying to find a person to go out with for the past 3 years, mainly through online dating, and unfortunately there's been no takers. Nobody seems to want to go out with a fat guy, and that's the honest truth. I've put myself out there and I've been shot down hundreds of times over the 3 years, and I'm not exaggerating on that fact. I've sent likes out, I've sent nice messages out to people, and for the most part they've all been ignored. And in the rare event that someone actually sent me a like and they liked me when I communicated back to them, because I like them back, no response. So they've accidentally hit like, is what I'm assuming from that. So I've had 3 years of trying, really actively trying to date. I know it's online dating. We've been through a pandemic, not really being allowed to interact with people on a personal level. But I know online dating is mainly down to, well, it's attraction first and then personality. It's what are the tools I've got to use at this moment in time, and unfortunately after 3 years of trying I've got nowhere. And like I say, the only thing I can put it down to is people do not want to date a fat guy. So there we go. So no, I'm not dating. I would love to date. I would really like to find that special someone, because one of the other main, obviously, driving factors of me doing my weight loss journey and lose my weight is obviously, yes, to get healthier, but I would really like to settle down and start a family of my own. I would love to have 2 or 3 kids, but yeah, obviously I need to find that person, which I've been trying to do unsuccessfully for quite a while. And Susie's third and the last question I received overall from everyone who left me a question is, do you watch any other weight loss YouTubers? I watch a number of YouTube videos or channels, ones which are specific to weight loss or fitness. Big one is Craig at Grey Wolf Fitness. Even though he is more like weight training, fitness, he also does occasionally want to set weight loss targets, which he's currently done recently, which I've already explained in this video. He's wanting to lose 30 pounds before Christmas, so I've decided to join that challenge as well. Another channel I like to follow is Pete at Highlander Pedro. He's also on a weight loss journey and he's done brilliantly, but his journey has stalled a little bit, similar to mine, but he's wanting to kickstart things, and he's also decided to take on Craig at Grey Wolf Fitness 30-pound weight loss challenge before Christmas. Another channel that I like to follow, and ever since that she gave me a shout out on her own channel, is Diet Devon. So occasionally I check out her channel, see how she's getting on. Another channel is 70 Pounds of Life. This is Marissa. Marissa and me started our weight loss journeys at the same time as one another. As Marissa's channel suggests, she wanted to lose 70 pounds originally, but she's lost a lot more than that now. But nevertheless, she's done brilliantly, and her channel has got a very large variety of videos. So she's doing fantastically well. And to say we both started at the same time with one another, it's nice to see how she's progressing as well. And she left me messages on my videos when we first kick-started our own weight loss journeys. And another one, probably more well-known channel that I tend to keep track of and go on every now and again, is Obese to Beast, which is John on that channel, and he's done a huge amount of work on his channel, and you're probably all very familiar with John on Obese to Beast. But yeah, I just like to see what content he puts out there every now and again. Obviously that's just some of the ones which is localized to weight loss or fitness channel. And I think it's quite a good varied range of channels there. So yeah, that's all the questions now. Let's get back on with the video. Next week, I would love to see a loss of 3 to 5 pounds, and hopefully it will be achievable. It should be achievable. My calorie consumption, in order to help me achieve that weight loss, is going to stick at 2,500 calories Monday to Friday. However, I am going to up my calorie consumption again, or back to where it normally was on a weekend, even though I didn't stick to it, at 2,700 calories. Activity wise, I'm still going to be doing my walking as a minimum of 10,000 steps a day, or 70,000 steps minimum as an average overall for the week. HIIT activities are just going to be taking place on a Tuesday and Thursday, and my dumbbell exercises for my chest are going to be continuing on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. So I'm hoping that is going to help things as well, move things along. I'm not going to completely stop doing the HIIT activity, but I'm certainly going to reduce it. Fluid wise, I want that definitely to get back above 3,500 milliliters overall for the week. Obviously that's an average. So it's not always easy drinking loads of fluid in a day. I mean, 3.5 litres to 4 litres of fluid is quite a lot, and yeah, it helps with my step count, going to the toilet backwards and forwards, constantly going there. But yeah, it's not easy, but I'm going to continue and do my best to hit or fulfill those drinks throughout the day. But other than that, guys, thank you for everybody who's continued to watch my weight loss journey over the last 300 weeks. Your continued support, kind messages that you leave me on my videos does help me keep motivated, to keep wanting to push forward and achieve the goals which I've set myself. And hopefully my journey that I'm recording here for everybody to see is also helping them or yourself on your own journey or goals that you've set yourself. So again, I appreciate your continued support. It means a huge amount to me. And yeah, hopefully everybody will continue to see much less of me as the weeks, months, years go on. But other than that, guys, that's it. That's the end of this week's video. As always, if you'd like to continue following me along my weight loss journey and hopefully get to see much less of me in the future, by all means, subscribe to my channel so you don't get to miss out on any future videos that I post. I wish you all a fantastic week. Stay safe, look after one another, and I'll see you all again next Sunday.